Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Banish the Doubt. Tonight, this episode is about abundance. More specifically, you are the first coin that you have to spend. So, this here is a dollar bill. You and we have our first coin to spend. The first coin of abundance is we have it. It's us. It's you and me. Okay. So now, if you're in a situation, let's say you find that you don't have enough money and you're finding yourself that you just can't seem to get ahead. It's something where you're just, whatever it may be, you just don't, you can't find that you have enough money, or you spend whatever it is you have. Okay. Or you're constantly dealing with this thing called lack. Understand it is definitions. It's not the lack, it's not the money. This here is nothing. It's a piece of paper. Okay? That's it. It has no value. It's a means of exchange. We give this value. Okay, you hear a lot in the news about devaluing the dollar. We we it's ourselves, whether we value ourselves or not. Okay, so we cannot have a feeling about anything until we first have a definition of that. So if you're saying that I just don't seem to have any money, or I can't seem to generate or find a good job, or anything like that, it's your beliefs. It's those reinforcing beliefs, those reinforcing messages you keep telling yourself. You cannot experience an emotion about anything until you first have a belief about that thing that you hold to be true. So, if you hold this belief to be true that it's hard to generate money, it's hard to make money, you have to grind, you have to sweat equity, um, you have to constantly fight for it. Anything else that these beliefs that we have bought into that reinforce, okay, they reinforce the beliefs. The definitions reinforce the beliefs. These definitions that we have about money, that money is hard to come by, it's hard to generate. We become what's called hardaholics. Okay, I can remember growing up, my father, he would work a part-time in landscaping. He had his own, it was a hobby, but it was a business, but it really was a hobby. So he would come home and, see his fingers all busted open, dirt just hanging off of him, mud. His brow was all sort of dirt and sweat. And he would say, I'm out there sweating my butt off. I'm out there breaking my back. This is the language, these are the beliefs, okay, that he had about how to generate money. Now, for myself and my brothers, this is what we saw, right? So these were the beliefs that we bought into, that money was hard to generate. It was not an easy thing to do. There was a lot of arguments between my parents about money, who's making enough, who's really, working enough or contributing enough. So as a young child, you see and you witness this, so you start to develop beliefs, right? And then you have emotions that reinforce these beliefs, that it's a struggle. And sometimes, children may develop feelings of guilt. They may feel like, I'm guilty. If I wasn't around, maybe they wouldn't be arguing so much. Maybe it wouldn't be such a difficult challenge to have money in the house. So these are the types of reinforcing beliefs that we have about money. And sometimes, people will go and they'll develop addictions, habits, right? So you develop what's called a habit of spending all your money. Well, on a psychological level or subconscious level, that may be somebody who just wants to get rid of this, because why? Their belief of this, right? Their motivation, their belief about this is it's dirty money, it's hard, it brings stress and problems. So you see a lot of this sort of playing itself out. Now, here's a question we ask ourselves, okay? What would I have to believe is true about money, okay? What would I have to believe to be true in order to experience this degree of doubt, fear, unworthiness about this situation? If you're seeing a situation where you are constantly sort of, something else we hear about behind the eight ball, right? There's more month at the end of the money. When this is gone, there's still more month left. Okay, so what would we have to believe is true about this situation? What would we have to believe is true about ourselves? This is the key. Okay, ourselves, these reinforcing emotions that are more powerful than any other emotions or any other beliefs we could bring up, or we could attach ourselves to, or we could start to feel about ourselves. Okay, now a habit or a pattern of spending all our money, not having enough money, is something that we do that we don't know we're doing. Let me say it again. A habit or a pattern is something that we do subconsciously. We don't realize we're doing it. Now, here's the key though. When you know you're doing it, okay, you don't have the habit anymore. Now, go back to what my father told my mom. He developed a drinking problem because a lot of his feelings were suppressed. He didn't share his feelings. That generation growing up, that men didn't share feelings, so he suppressed a lot of it, and he found way out in society was, you go have a couple of pops, right? After work, you earned enough to go have yourself a couple of shots. A lot of guys got drunk and they got habits, right? But once he consciously understood that this was a habit he said he couldn't kick, it wasn't a habit. Because once you keep doing it, it becomes a choice. Okay? It's no longer a habit. So if you find yourself in a situation where you are spending all your money and you don't seem to have enough, there's always more month at the end of the money, or whatever, however it is you want to believe. Once you realize you're doing it, it's no longer a habit, it's not a pattern. Understand, it is a choice, okay? And if you keep choosing it, it's because if you keep choosing this to do this, okay, to stay in a job that you know is not paying enough to pay the bills and you don't get a second job or whatever it may be, because you believe that you're motivated. So if you keep doing it, you're choosing it, is because you are motivated to keep choosing. And why are you motivated to do this? Why are you motivated to keep doing it? It's because you have a belief that says to keep doing it, even though maybe you're just perpetuating the same cycle over and over again. So we no longer fall back on, once you do this, you're no longer able to fall back on, well, it's a habit, okay? And if you continue, then it's a belief. And what belief is it? Okay, so this is the key. What belief is it behind this pattern, this choice that we keep making? If we're constantly behind the eight ball, as they say, or constantly we don't have money. We can't seem to generate enough income. Because, by the way, guys, we don't earn income. We generate income. We don't earn it. Okay. It's one of the things you might start thinking to yourself is, what do I do? What do I do each day? What do I do each day while I'm living? Society says, what do you do for a living? What do you do while you're living? Okay. Big distinction. Now, like I said, you are the first coin you have to spend. You are the first one. You, nobody else. Okay? Because if you're not willing to believe you have value, then if you don't believe you have value, then what could you possibly buy? What could you buy with it? Okay, if you're devaluing yourself, if you're finding yourself you're shortchanging yourself. Okay, so if you're shortchanging yourself, then what could you possibly buy with this abundance that you have? it comes down to a belief in self-worth. You don't believe you're worthy of having enough money. You don't believe you're worthy of changing those belief systems inside of you. You don't believe you're worthy of changing well, probably can't see that, but the definition. So we change the definition that we have. Okay. We start to realize that we are worthy, that we have enough. Money is just a symbol. That's all it is. If you and I were not around, it wouldn't be worth anything. It's nothing. It's nothing right now. You and I, we start to look inside of ourselves and say, and we start to understand that we are worthy each moment of each day to generate the type of life income that would then transfer itself to the type of lifestyle that we want to live. We are the ones who are worthy. We change our belief systems. We change our definitions about money. We change our definitions about lack. There is no lack. Okay. There is no poor or rich. There is no devalue or value. It's us. The only value, devalue, or value in anything starts with us. The physical world, guys, is a mirror. It mirrors back to us exactly what we're thinking, exactly what our beliefs are, what our it's not the beliefs, it's the definitions first. So it's a definition, first with the definition, then it's a belief, then it's feelings and emotions. Okay, so we first have a definition about money. So definition about money, we change it from if it was stress or we grew up in an environment where there's a lot, we get rid of that. I want to read you guys something here that Bashar talked about. Okay, he said, um, everything is a reflection of your value. Money has no value on its own. If you didn't, like I said, if you didn't exist, you would have no value. It would not even exist as a concept. The only reason money has value, and it's the only one of many symbols of value, money is just one symbol, okay, as an idea of abundance. You have to know if you don't value yourself, you can't attract the symbol, okay, in a way that reflects the value. You have devalued your money by devaluing yourself. Let me say that again. You have devalued your money by devaluing yourself. So you have nothing to spend. So you have to value yourself in order to evaluate your money. And then once we do this, synchronicities will start to show up. People will start to show up. Okay. Videos like this one will start to show up. Okay. But if now in your bank account will start to reflect this new valuation you have about yourself. Okay. Your willingness to value yourself. Physical reality, guys, like I mentioned, it's a mirror. So physical reality has no choice but to reflect this new valuation you have of yourself. Okay. So it's like owning a home. The home appreciates in value over time. So consider yourself appreciating in value just by watching this video. Okay. Now, if you're not seeing what you want in your world, in your physical reality, this is key. It's because you're not giving off the image to be reflected. That's all there is to it. You're not being who you are because who you are is abundant. Everybody watching this video right now, you are abundant naturally just by the fact that you were created. Okay? You are joyful. You are creative. Why? Because you were made in the image of the creator. So you have to be you have to be a creator that you were if you come from this image, right? So what can you do but create? It's our nature. It's your nature. It's my nature to create on all levels that you put your imagination to. So if you find that there is no creation happening in an area, you have to understand that you are not creating yourself to be there. Let me say that again. If you are not finding yourself or an area of your life creating the way you would like it to create, it's because you are not putting yourself or creating yourself there. So, what would you like to create in your life? Where would you like, from this video on tonight, guys, where would you like to create yourself to be? Creation is already finished. There is a still shot, if you will, almost like a. So I was videotaping my son practicing baseball, okay? And the slides, the individual slides, I was watching him going through his swing. He went through his swing, but the video was nothing more than just still shots. So I slowed down, and I slowed down the video to see his swing, each little slide. Each slide, guys, is you, your image. What image do you have of yourself out there? How are you going to value yourself from this video on? What are you going to see? What are your beliefs going to be? What type of beliefs are going to motivate you from this video on? What definitions of value are about yourself are you going to start to create from this video on? What are you going to see tomorrow morning when you wake up? Are you going to wake up? It's Monday morning. Here's a specific valuation I would like for you to do tomorrow morning. When you wake up, tomorrow is the first day for the rest of your life. How are you going to live it? Is it going to be just, here we go, another Monday, another week, gotta go to work? Or is it going to be your choice? Okay, how are you going to value yourself? Are you going to wake up tomorrow and say, yes, this is my day. I deserve this day. I value myself so much. When I look in the mirror and I'm brushing my teeth before I go to work or school or whatever it may be, I'm looking in those eyes and I'm valuing that person. I'm going to smile, okay? Because when I smile, that reflection smiles back at me. If I frown, if I look at it, it's another Monday. See, you can't see because I'm making the video. I can see myself right now doing this. But if you frown, what's the saying go? If you smile, the whole world smiles with you. But if you cry alone. I believe that's where it goes. But I don't know the first part. If you smile, the world smiles with you. So, what are you going to do? What are your definitions going to be? What are you going to do with the first coin that you have to spend? That coin is you, my friends. As always, thank you so much for watching these videos. Thank you so much for commenting. If you'd like to comment down below, feel free. Tell me what I would love to see. Like, what are you going to do tomorrow morning? Is tomorrow morning, Monday morning, going to be another Monday morning? Or is it going to be the best day that you could possibly create? How are you going to value yourself starting right now, but tomorrow morning when you wake up? Thank you so much. I appreciate and I'm humbled by each one of you viewing these videos, commenting on these videos, sharing these videos, and subscribing to this channel. I bow to the light that is inside of you. It's there. It's just waiting to shine through. Start to value yourself differently so it can start to shine and the whole world can see that beautiful, beautiful light that you are. Have a wonderful night.